We are on Skype with Drew Sullivan, who is editor-in-chief of the Organized Crime and Corruption Reporting Project. He is in Sarajevo, and together with his organization, these investigations were possible. Drew, please let us know what the most important finding is about the Ukrainian case, and also we can speak about the global effect of these new leaks.
I think the most important issue in Ukraine is really that we're still not getting to the bottom of exactly what's going on with Russia and the president's candy company. And it's very clear that what they've said publicly is very different from what they're telling to their offshore lawyers. And we still don't have where this company is registered in, this trust. We don't have the documents of the formation of the trust. We don't have transparency. And these documents show that the intent of the lawyers was to hide taxes offshore. And this is really, this is not just, President Poroshenko. When you go through these documents, you realize, wealthy people all over the world are hiding their assets. Russian owners are hiding their planes so they don't have to pay taxes in Russia or in Ukraine, or pay taxes on their yachts. And you can do these types of things if you're wealthy, but if you're poor, you can't hide your money. And so we're getting a system that is really the haves and the have-nots. The people with money have all sorts of systems to hide their money and keep their money, and the regular people pay the taxes. And it's just, from going through these documents, it's more and more clear, all the names of the people you're seeing, there's a whole economy that operates offshore, and it's the richest people, and it's the most unethical people.
And Drew, we hear now different stories, like looking right away in different international publication globally, on connection of Jared Kushner, son-in-law of President Trump, of the Commerce Secretary in the US, on the British Queen, so really, and the Russian connection. So please elaborate, what are the stories to follow? Of course, every single one is important, but what will you focus?
Well, I think it depends where you are. In the United States, it's obviously Wilbur Ross, who's the Commerce Secretary, was owned a business that was getting revenue from Putin's son-in-law. That's a very direct connection, to Putin and Wilbur Ross. And he was already under suspicion because of his relationship with various Russian oligarchs. And he, of course, was very instrumental in getting Trump elected. And so that's going to be the big focus in the United States. I think a big bombshell here is that the Russian government may have invested early on in Facebook and Twitter. And that's a huge issue, coming through VTB Bank in Russia, and coming through Gazprom, a company that was set up to take some of Gazprom's investments. And there's a question as to whether that money really came from the Russian state, or whether it was Alisher Usmanov's money, or whether Alisher Usmanov stole the investment from the Russian state. So we're not really sure, and there's more work that needs to be done, but that's going to be a huge issue. I think you're going to see people very interested in Bono, the lead singer of U2, who appears to have been caught not paying taxes in Lithuania. Through a small shopping center that he owned in Lithuania. That's likely to get the tabloid press around the world. So, and then of course the British tabloids will be looking at the Queen's investments. So, wealthy people, powerful people get caught every single time you unravel these records in one of these offshore firms. And that's why there's going to keep being leaks from offshore firms, because this is how wealthy people hide their money.
Drew, thanks a lot, because I think for a lot of journalists and for a lot of citizens all over the globe, it's important to follow each story and ask the question to the people in power, to the rich people in their countries. That's what we will do. We have a number of a few more investigations which would be published within coming week. So please follow Hromadske at en.hromadske.ua and at our social network, search Hromadske International.